So hello there and thanks for being here. This video is going to be a little bit different from the other videos that I do, and I just want to let you know that I am going through the same things as you are. So I want to give you a quick update on how my sobriety is affecting my life so far and how all of these self-improvement and productivity lifestyle tips actually help me and why you should do them too. So you might think of this as a milestone video log or something, and I'll be going through my struggles and improvements that I had along the way, and I'll try to edit this as little as I can. And I do have to say I really do appreciate all of your comments, emails, and the support to my PayPal so far. It really means the world to me, so thank you for that. So let's get a quick background on why I actually started this channel and wanted to share my stories and improvements in the first place. So whoever has watched my 6-month sober video so far know that my life was a complete mess. I had no goals, I was wasting my early 20s, and to think about it, actually all of my 20s on drugs and alcohol. And I was seeking the most unimportant relationships to get this fast dopamine hit all of the time. And for all of you listening who are in your early 20s and think this lifestyle is worth pursuing, it's not, man. It really isn't. Trust me, you're so much better off not chasing those short-term highs, and when you really think about it, soulless people. So after living this lifestyle, and I really lived it, I toured around with my band in my own country, and we went to different countries as well. I did a hell of a lot of drugs and consumed a shit ton of alcohol. Basically, you name the drug, I've done it. I had tons of meaningless, deadly relationships with women that I even can't remember about, and I really am sorry for that. So anyways, when I got this realization that I had to get sober, I got this sort of epiphany. I remember before starting this channel, I had a conversation with a friend and I gave him some tips on motivation and goal setting, and it really did resonate with him. And not only did it resonate, he lately actually called me and thanked me for it. So that was super nice. So my reason for starting this channel was actually to do only a sobriety confession video and share some productivity tips that I was actually testing out along the way. But the amazing thing about this is I actually really started to like it. And I started to talk about self-improvement so much that I decided to stay. And apparently I'm still here. So the reason behind why I actually want to combine productivity with self-improvement and sobriety is, in my mind, it's common sense. Because when you quit drinking and doing drugs, there's this massive hole that's just left, that's just waiting to be filled. And not only time-wise, but psychologically as well. So directing that brand new willpower that actually helps you improve in the long run is super beneficial. And as time goes on, the more proof I will have for you guys. Because one way or the other, we are driven to cure boredom any way possible. And if you don't push yourself towards the right things when you're bored, then you will choose the lazy stuff. And boom, from your self-destructive ways, you're like a couch potato, and that isn't a massive leap, isn't it? So lately, when I had the time to think about other people basically the same age as me who only go to work, the obvious thing to do, not saying that's a bad thing, but after work they only binge watch videos, watch TV, or just take these mini vacations. They also criticize everyone around them and wonder why they're still stuck in the same place. And I actually got bad news for them. So the only future I see for this kind of lifestyle is they're going to be 60 or 70 years old. They're going to be doing the exact same thing, only with slightly more furious knee pain and back pain. And that's about it. And also taking vacations from what? Their 9-to-5 job? Give me a break. So in my daily life, I actually work on these video editing projects all the time. So I help people around the world edit their videos, do motion graphics, and come up with ideas. I also have a lot of woodworking skills and coding skills, but I decided to pursue editing. So I actually made a bunch of websites and did an offshore company. Not to avoid taxes, but just the conditions are better. Anyways, most of the time I was in a rut doing my everyday activities. I had very little motivation, and I could spend hours on just thinking about the project and not doing it. I also had really poor time management and routine. I used to wake up at the most random times, having no clue on how the day was going to end up. The only thing I knew that I had some deadlines at work and they had to be achieved. My diet and my working style was so off the rails that I just couldn't believe it. I actually wrote it down in my journals and it just blew my mind. So all of this happened in the early stages of my sobriety, and when I was telling you that you are going to go through a lot of things when you're going sober, I meant it, man. Because believe it or not, sobriety is not only getting sober, the clarity of mind that actually follows offers you a huge chance to improve yourself. And my advice, use it. The very first thing I actually started doing on a regular basis, at least I try to, was journaling and exercising. And if you're like a person like me, when he goes to bed and has these like anxiety attacks of ideas and all these thoughts around you, journaling is actually one of the best ways you can get rid of it. And if you don't want to go really deep into journaling and schedule your time, then you can just write down these like attacking thoughts and thank me later. But for me personally, journaling took me down a really massive rabbit hole, and I actually started to see like more clearly what I had to do in order to achieve these things I wanted. So at the time when I was actually doing all of these self-improvements and figuring out my life, I got a chance to move to Portugal. And for those who have watched my videos before, of course I did. And I have to say, this was one of the most impactful choices in my life. So over there, I actually got my schedule really on point, and I started looking more deeply into routines and time management. And again, this led me down another massive rabbit hole of watching like Andrew Huberman's podcasts and all this neurological stuff and bloggers. Damn, man. And I just had to try it out. And I realized I'm actually really into on how the self-improvement world works, not just blindly trusting any advice. And that's why I've been doing these videos on like deep dives in this scientific part, because I'm really interested in it. So on that note, you will be seeing me doing more like put to the test videos in the future. So anyways, I started waking up really early in the mornings and taking cold showers and jumping into a cold pool. Started exercising even more, doing yoga, meditating, also eating healthy. And I really recommend you try all of these out, but try to do them in steps. Like get one habit to stick first and then move on to the other one. I did this huge mistake of doing everything at once and it was just too overwhelming. But coming from an ex-addict, if you get addicted to these, it's so impressive. Meanwhile, if you have watched my other videos about sobriety in the past, then you know I mentioned triggers. And yes, they do exist. And yes, they will come after you. Whether it's a dream, a person, or a situation. They do happen, but I encourage you to really stay strong in those moments. You will overcome them. Because looking back on these all like trigger moments, you will thank yourself so much in the future. And the fun thing about this is the more the time goes on, the tinier the triggers seem. Kind of logical, isn't it? But it's really hard to think about when you're currently going through them. So I have to say it to you. Like I remember loving the smell of alcohol, weed, and even shrooms before. But now it just smells like depression and anxiety. Coming from a person who has been drinking and doing drugs for like 15 years, if this is not encouraging to you, I don't know what is. And for these people who are triggering you, they must have like a special place between heaven and hell somewhere. Who knows? It's again their own insecurities to lead you to drink, be lazy, or to smoke or whatever. Because they really want you to be your like past self again. Because then they get like this little gratification to say to you like, hey, you're like one of us. You haven't changed. Come join us. But let me encourage you, you are not, and you don't need to join them. Also, relationship-wise, if you wish to continue or start your self-improvement and productivity path in the future, then I can confirm that a lot of people surrounding you won't have a clue what the is going on. And usually these are the people from your past who have gotten used to who you were, not who you are going to be. And I actually do encourage people to become a ghost. It's one of my future videos as well, so stay tuned. Because people who don't understand what you're doing will not understand it even if you explain it to them. Because they just don't want to understand. That's the problem. Don't give your time and effort to people who are apparently living other people's lives because they don't have any lives of their own. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But I can confirm, going through all of this myself, you'll be happier than ever. And I am sorry if this video is dragging out a bit long. I just wanted to get this off my chest, and I really wanted to thank you as well, because the support has been just incredible, man. And if you like these vlog kind of videos where I just share my own experiences and talk to you guys, then let me know, because I actually really do enjoy making these, and I would like to make more in the future as well. Yeah, I'll try to resist the urge to edit this video a lot, and just leave it here for you and my future self. I'll see you in the next one. Catch ya.